First, start off by slowly raising the table to the full upright position. Then extend the horn all the way out. Slowly push your coil out to the mark on the horn. Tip as you retract, not to slam the coil against the back rollers. Once the coil is down, start up the first rollers and continue all the way through without stopping until you're centered. Raise your lift rollers and then push the pusher out to move the coil down the set. Start your second set of rollers as the coil approaches them. Be sure that by the time the coil gets there, they are already moving. Continue it all the way through. Do not stop until the coil has reached the center of the roller set. After your coil has been tagged, you can then move it over onto the turntable rollers. Start off by moving the turntable rollers first and then easing it on with the scale rollers. Take your time to ensure that it is centered over the turntable rollers. Once your coil is centered, you may lift it up and rotate it around. Be sure it stays centered for the banding procedure. You want to make sure it's centered over the trough, that way the bands are tight and straight on the coils. As you can see, as you feed material in, make sure to overfeed so you have plenty of room in the loop to get your hand out of the way once the banding has been taken. All the way through, be sure that it is centered over the trough. Once your coil has been banded, you may place spacers, 6 of them, equally around the coil. After you have placed your spacers, you may move it down the line to the 4th set of rollers. Be sure to move the 4th set of rollers before you send it onto them. Center it under the jib crane, lowering the jib crane onto the spacers. Be sure not to stick your hands or any other body parts between the coils as it's lowered. Raise the coil to a level where you can see them without having to bend underneath them. Be sure not to place any body parts underneath the coil as it's being raised or while it is in the air. Slowly rotate the coils around so you can do a good visual inspection, looking for scratches, creases, dents, or anything that might be a defect down the line. Once your inspection is done, stay clear of the coils as they are lowered.